Welcome to the new Overlords Podcast. I'm Max, that's Sema, and we talk about video games around these parts. Hello there, Sema.
Yes, we do. We talk and we talk and we talk, as you said earlier.
We talk and talk and talk about it.
How are you doing this week, Max?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I am doing really well. How are you doing? I heard you finished Fallout Season 2, which I have not yet, and I heard you don't want to talk about it.
I do want to talk about it. I didn't want to talk about it in that setting because there were people who hadn't finished watching it yet.
So I haven't finished watching it either. But the way you said it made me think like it's not all happy times in your Sema's evaluation of the end of the season.
No. Well, okay, maybe, yes. But not in the way you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, something pissed me off or something made me go blah, blah, blah. And it's not that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No puppies were kicked and their heads didn't fly off.
Speaking of heads flying off droids, I guess let's start the news because that's our first news. Is that what you were referencing?
Yes.
Star Wars Galactic Racer trailer. All right, let's get into the news.
Good news, everyone.
Yes. First up in the news, we just did get another trailer for Star Wars Galactic Racer. So not actually very big news, but another really good trailer dropped this week. And in that trailer, there's just a moment. It's towards the end, right, where he gets angry after the race. The one alien, who I think is named. I think we're supposed to know who that is, but
yeah,
it's not Sebulba, but it's another one. And he kicks the head off one of those little, I forgot what kind of droids they're called. It's the ones that young Anakin says, press the nose in episode 1 in his whiny little voice. Even though he did a good job in that game. Here he goes. He's all there. Boom. Kicked the head right off that thing. But this looks really good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Except you don't want to play it because you'll rage quit. Because it looks like you can run your friends off the track and crash them into a wall and make them explode.
If somebody kicks my head off, I'm definitely rage quitting.
Yes.
But I do like the look of it. It looks fantastic. And
right.
I mean, if they have like a geriatric version.
Easy mode? Can I switch it to easy mode?
Yeah.
But easy mode just for me. Everyone else plays on hard mode.
Can I drive with my foot on the brake all the time?
Can I have aim assist for my pod racer? Yeah, it looks amazing. It looks really well done. Everything you'd want from that kind of pod racer, speed galactic racing game. So we'll have to see how it plays. I'm sure that the proof will be in the space pudding or whatever they eat, the blue milk pudding that gets served after the race. But yeah, it's got all the sounds that I would want out of the sounds. It's what is still one of my favorite scenes in all 9 of the Star Wars movies is that race. Not because of like what goes on around it and all the deal with is the story written that way, but that scene I think just is constructed well. The sound design is just so great. It's the excitement of the race. Now this is pod racing, not that part, but all the other parts are just one of my favorite parts. Anytime I want to test, like, have I wired up my speakers correctly? Have I balanced my bass correctly in my home theater? That's the scene I put on because it's just that sound is just amazing.
I mean, when we get on our various vehicles and when we're playing Star Wars: The Old Republic, this is kind of how we imagine what's going on, right? So
yeah, right.
Cool.
When we're riding our log mounts around the around the fleet.
Well, maybe not those, but yeah.
Yeah. So Machete in the chat room, you're saying all the racers can have their own unique engine sounds, and are they the engine sounds that are unique to that design of the racer as sourced by the movies, or can you pick? Because that would be really cool. Is that like an audio cosmetic Like you could go into design or you could unlock new sounds and then you could swap out the engine sound. I think that would be really cool. Anyway, well done on that. Can't wait to see what they're going to do as far as that goes. And I'm sure I'll try it and play it. I'm not a big racing game player in general, but I'll play it just enough to play a cool Star Wars game. Just like I played the Starfighter Rogue Star Wars Squadrons when that came out, which is amazing. Again, not, space fighter game is not the type of game I play long term, but I had a lot of fun with that. And in VR, that game is amazing as well. Also in the news, I'm hearing a lot of buzz and I'm wondering how it's turning out, how it's working out about Avowed and their anniversary update. So Avowed got a new update already this week and added a fair number of, not a ton, but a fair number of nice things just to add to the game that people are sort of like fan favorites, fan service, like a new game plus mode. Great for players that love the game and are still playing it. New game plus, always useful. A photo mode. That's cool. I wonder. It did make me think. People get really excited when photo modes get released for any game that's popular. The photo mode for Cyberpunk 2077 is just, people love it. That's a super really good version of one as well, because you can do a lot of posing and that kind of thing, assembling scenes and then creating cyberpunk art of your own, basically your own backgrounds and wallpapers and everything you want to make out of it. So people seems to really love photo modes. Do you love photo mode, Sema? Do you like go and take a bunch of pictures of
I think I would love photo mode. Like I have taken my share of screenshots, but it's not really, you can't really customize it with the tools available to you in the game. You'd have to, I think that would be really cool if you could, and you can't really stop the action. You can just hope to hit what you're trying to hit.
Right.
But yeah.
So the best photo modes, the photo mode, advanced photo modes, does pause the action for one.
Yeah.
For two, Final Fantasy does this as well. You can then not only pose it, but add emotes, change the daytime, change the lighting, change the arrangement of characters, have them all do something all at the same, like have them all jump in the air, and then so you're like almost like assembling a photo with dev tools, which is really cool. So
yeah. And then you could use it for your wallpaper.
Yes. I print them out and hang them on I print them out to cover my garage door outside. So
and that's how your
so my
neighborhood
neighbors
knows that's how cool you are.
Yes. I'm sure that's what the HOA thinks. And then also fun is new races. So you can play as the dwarf race now, and a new weapon. You can play with the quarterstaff, and you can also imbue the quarterstaff with magic, like make it like an ice staff or a fire staff or something and fight with it that way. So fun things. But it also just was exciting to see a lot of people talking about it online in various different locations saying, yeah, that game was good. I think people have an impression that the game was panned more than it was. I think people are mixing it up with like Dragon Age, the Dragon Age game that did get a lot of criticism, and they are mixing it up with that because this was relatively well received. I mean, it wasn't a 10 out of 10 game of the year, but it was relatively well received by both fans and reviewers. So for everybody now jumping into it going, yeah, wasn't that game terrible? Is it fine now? No, it was never terrible. Nobody really thought it was terrible. And people are still having a lot of fun with it. And people are now rediscovering that even if you thought it was terrible, maybe it wasn't. So not a lot has changed and it's still a good game. That doesn't go as far. Okay, let's have the RPG conversation. It doesn't go as far in the RPG land as they potentially wanted. So that's was one of the criticisms. It's not enough of an RPG, and it should be an RPG because it's Obsidian, and it's not. They didn't allow enough RPG-ness out of it. So that, in theory, frustrated some people. Now, let's talk about another game where that conversation is always also happening. So most of the rest of our news this week is still in the coming soon section. Why was soon in the news? You're going to hear Max talk about how Crimson Desert is coming out tomorrow. It is not. It is not coming out tomorrow, but it'll take him about 10 minutes to realize this. So, Sema, why was Crimson Desert not on our list? It was at the beginning of the year. We talked about it as potentially being one of the biggest games of the year coming out. But why did I not have it the last few weeks as a game that's coming in February? Because it's coming out tomorrow.
Mystery, Max. I mean, yeah. Just fell off our radar.
Yes. I didn't do anything wrong, to be clear. It was somebody else's fault. Not saying it's your fault, Sema. I'm not saying it's your fault.
I mean, in our defense, it is a single player action adventure game, and it's not our core kind of game, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an MMO. It's not a survival game. It's not one of those that I pre-ordered. However, I'm looking hard at this game, and I probably will play it. In fact, I might play it this weekend, even though it's $70. That's the one problem with it. Because I do expect that this is potentially a candidate for runner-up for Game of the Year. I think that's what I said in our January episode, our January 1st episode as well. I think this has the potential to be, on the list for runner-up Game of the Year, because we all know that, as you said, the elephant in the room, Grand Theft Auto, is the one that's in theory going to be blowing everybody away. But yeah, highly anticipated. But this is another one. So I pulled up this article from IGN where they're saying people are arguing over whether Crimson Desert is an RPG, and it's not even out yet. Yes. People are arguing about it, and then Pearl Abyss, the development team, is feeding into that a little bit by trying to downplay the idea of it being called an RPG. And I think that's because, again, if you put any kind of label on it, the people that are into that label will not be satisfied. If you make a massively multiplayer game and you call it an MMO players are going to say that's not an MMO, no matter what. Like Where Winds Meet. Where Winds Meet isn't an MMO. Okay, but can massive numbers of players all play it together and go on quests and dungeons and fight world bosses all together? Well, yeah, but it doesn't match these 3 checkboxes in my list of what an MMO should be. Same thing with this for RPG. So the developer came out saying, especially don't expect kind of like the choices that matter, you can change the world kind of RPG stuff, because it's not that, guys. It's, it's a story that you're following. So don't, and it has no leveling. So it's not that either. But does it have progression? Yes. Does it have skill progression? Yes. Does it have gear upgrades? Yes. Are you going on an adventure? Are you playing a role? Yes, you're doing all those things, but don't call it an RPG, because the developer will get in trouble. So I don't know. What do you think, Sema? Would you call this, from everything you've heard so far, would you call it an RPG?
Yep.
Yes, I would as well. So
I mean, it's hard to get upset about whether or not it's an RPG. I get the whole point of people who want a really deep story might be disappointed. But I mean, back to the beginning of time, when we used to play RPGs where the choices you had, do you walk right or walk left into 2 different rooms? I mean, those were RPGs.
Yes. It's getting to the point where purists of the tag are making it such that there's only been one true RPG release in the last 5 years, and that was Baldur's Gate Online, or Baldur's Gate 3. So if that's the case, then fine. I guess we need to invent new terms, which
Well,
is
I
what
think
all
it
these game studios are doing.
I think it's like everything in life, really. It's a continuum. And Baldur's Gate 3 is way over to this side of the continuum, and there's games all along the way.
You're right. Right. So I don't begrudge any. Call it, stop arguing about it, I guess. No, go ahead.
Yeah.
Argue about it. It's going to get argued about anyway. But when you
Right.
get games getting released and you see it's an open world action leveling progression game, fight action fun time game.
It's
and
like
you wonder,
everything.
and you look at that and you wonder why. What are they saying the game is? It's
It
because
doesn't.
they can't say what it is without getting in
It's
trouble.
like every genre conversation.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Like, is Alien a science fiction movie or a horror movie? Ultimately, it doesn't really matter. It has elements of both, and you like it or you don't like it.
Right. Yeah. It's not science, and don't criticize people when they're trying to sort of Alien is a rom-com. Thank you, Stask. You're absolutely right. It's about hugs, face hugs.
Mostly.
It's mostly a rom-com, mostly. Okay, so big one coming soon, coming tomorrow, Crimson Desert. Coming today, just got released today. We talked about this last couple of weeks. Another one I do want to play and more in my wheelhouse because it's a little bit more survival, sort of like their survival crafting adventure, is Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown. So that's out today. I haven't looked at any of the reviews because I'm sure all the embargoes dropped today. I'll have to check it out, see what people are saying. If it's getting really good reviews, I'll probably be playing it really soon. If it's getting okay reviews, I'll probably play Crimson Desert this weekend and then play this next week. Maybe do that because I'm bouncing around a little bit, trying some different things. But this is one that I want to try, especially because of how the base building works from the side. Crimson Desert is March. What? No, it's not. It's tomorrow. February? Am I cracked?
Wait,
What?
is it today?
Hold on. Chat room is telling me that 4-star is telling me that Crimson Desert is not tomorrow. Is it March 19th? When does Crimson Desert?
Uh-oh,
March
typing boy.
19th. What the hell? This is why it's not on my February release list. What is wrong with me? Thank you. Crimson Desert. All right. I'm gonna have to edit the video and put a tag on it that says not coming out tomorrow. March 19th. I swear I searched for this and it said February. Something. I got the 19th right. So there's that. That's why I wasn't on my releases for February. Now I'm all embarrassed. You see my face getting red.
Well, after almost 600 episodes.
Yes.
Going to be some mistakes in there.
Well, I guess I'm not playing Crimson Desert this weekend. What the hell is wrong with me?
You can play your own Crimson Desert with like sofa cushions and a blanket.
We have Crimson Desert at home.
Right.
That's what I'll be playing. All right, so maybe I'll be playing Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown this weekend because my schedule is cleared apparently. Fun, good times. Great. All right. I don't know what I got, what was happening to me there. Also coming soon, other things that I am looking forward to. We're still looking forward to Resident Evil Requiem on February 26th. I'm looking forward to something that popped up on my radar. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is coming to Game Pass on March 3rd. So I didn't buy Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 when it first came out, but I do want to play it and want to check it out. So that's going to be a great opportunity for me. So I'll be playing that in the first week in March because there's nothing going on the first week of March as far as I know. There's like 50 things going on, including the Garden of Goat open beta, Wow, Midnight is releasing that week. That's going to be a little bit of a crazy week, but it'll be coming to Game Pass, not leaving Game Pass. It's not only there for a day, so I'm sure I can do a few other things and then play it the next week. And then there'll be other things in March, apparently. Like on March 19th, I heard this cool game, Crimson Desert, is coming out. So I'm going to get to play that too. Why did that not dawn on me that I didn't have it on the list because it wasn't supposed to be on the list? I'm an idiot. Okay, this podcast is brought to you by all the great people in our chat room that
keep us honest
and actually know what's going on in games and games industry and game news and help us bring the correct news to you all. So thank you all there. Thanks to everybody who listens on YouTube, jumps in our Discord. Please jump in our Discord and tell me how you're yelling at the podcast in your car while you're driving around going, it's not coming tomorrow. What the hell is wrong with you? Yes, that is correct. This podcast is also brought to you by AIE-Est, aie-guild.org, the gameplay community that we are a part of, and a lot of fun things going on in there lately. I recommend everyone go and check it out. And this is brought to you by Garden and a Goat. We are about 2 weeks out from our open beta, which will be happening around the first week in March. If you'd like to be part of that, wishlist on Steam and you'll get the notification. It'll be open enrollment on Steam for that open beta. And jump in our Discord if you want any of the update notes and be able to ask questions and tell us what else you would love to see in the game. We've been doing some new reveals. We just posted a new trailer of the beta up on Steam and on YouTube, so check it out. Check it out. All right, Sema.
It looks like meat's back on our menu, boy.
No way.
God.
Finally.
Oh my God. Oh, I kind of like the magnet bread.
There is a game coming next. We don't even know when it's coming out, but Forest 3 was announced at the Game Awards. Forest 3 is the third in the Sons of the Forest series. And I finally got around to playing some of Sons of the Forest this past week. So this segment's going to be about some things that we actually played, and then we'll talk about No Man's Sky at the end as well. But
because you did actually play that.
I did.
Yeah.
It actually came out. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you made it sound like we were going to talk about some things we actually played and then No Man's Sky.
Yes.
You hadn't actually, but you did.
Yeah.
I was just clarifying.
Yes, because this needs a lot of clarification these days. Because I say a lot of wild things that are not true.
Don't we all?
Lies. This is a podcast of lies. I sit on a throne of lies. Sons of the Forest. Not a lot to say on it just yet because I didn't play too long. I had a mini rage quit, then went back and played a little bit more. And I'll probably go play some more as well. I get that this is the game, but I played for like my first half hour of the game, and the whole idea is they don't tell you really much at all what to do. Basically, they do set it up as there's this family, don't even know a lot about them, but they got lost on this island, and you don't know what's going on. So you're heading out there with some seemingly like you're a journalist or something, and they're like military dudes. You're in a helicopter, and your helicopter crashes. It seems like it gets shot down. It's not exactly clear what went on there. You wake up on the beach, and you only have like one objective, which is check on the other 3 strike teams and find the family. And I said, okay, all right, I'll play your game. So there's rocks and sticks on the ground, that kind of thing. So I'm picking up some stuff. I'm going around. I see one of the beacons out in the water for a raft. That's one of the check on the 3 strike teams beacons. So I'm like, okay, all right, I'll go check that out. So this is after about like a half hour of playing. I like finally get down to the beach. I finally found this, and I'm like, all right, fine. It's not that far. So I go swimming out there. I get to the raft. I'm about to climb up, and the screen goes black, and it says, "You've been eaten by a shark." I said, okay.
Did you see a shark?
I did not see a shark. I wasn't looking underwater. Maybe there were sharks swimming around. Maybe I should have been looking underwater. Oh, that reminds me. I had a dream the next night that I did look underwater and then you could punch the sharks. I don't know if that's a thing, but wow, I just remembered I had that dream. You could like punch him in the face. You could like swim up to him and punch him in the face so that you could get to the round. I don't know.
Well,
Anyway,
so wait a minute.
but-
Is this memory of the shark death from your dream or from the game?
it was a scene from the game. But no, I didn't see them in the game. But here's the bigger thing that kind of like made me rage quit. I had played for 30 minutes. I'd collected a bunch of stuff. I'd got some good things too, and I explored a little bit. And I was driving around. I finally got to the beach. I swam out there. I died to the shark, and I was dead. It was game over. It was hardcore death. There was no like respawn. There was no.
Oh.
They don't tell you how to save the game. This I don't agree with from a game design perspective. They don't tell you how to save the game. I had to look it up online. Once you look it up online, it seems relatively obvious. You need to first construct some sort of shelter. And there's a shelter you can make out of a tarp and 2 sticks, which you pick up relatively soon. But the first thing I didn't want to build a shelter right away. So I didn't build the shelter. I didn't get then you look at the shelter and the little save game button pops up when you're looking at it and you can just press E to save game. I didn't, and it wiped my game. There was no save. It was done. And I was like, what the hell, man? That's bullshit.
So it said, do you want to save the game? And you said no, and now you're saying
no, I didn't get the option in that first playthrough.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because I didn't build the tent. So because I expected that it was like auto saving or something.
Right.
Because how would they let you play for a half hour? Or I could have played for hours and then died and lost all of everything and been like, what the hell? So I wasn't too happy about that.
Yeah.
From then on, I just carried, I just had 2 sticks and a tarp, dropped them on the ground every time I felt like saving the game, which is a little bit, I don't know if I agree with that design strategy as well. Would just give me a save game button at that point. Because you could do it anywhere, but you got to like put the tarp down, and then you pick up a stick. And you got to stick the stick under one side, and then you pick up the other stick. You stick it on the other side, and then you can press the save game button, and then you pick it up. Like, there we go. Great. So that was unfun. And then I died like 50 more times playing for the next 2 hours over a couple days. And I'm fine with dying, but I don't like getting all my stuff lost. It's meant to be discovery and hard and difficult. And I don't really know what parts I'm not supposed to be doing and what parts I am supposed to be doing. Like, here's this native dude, and I've got like a survival hatchet, and he comes up to me and he looks a little angry, and he starts getting aggressive with me. So I try to defend myself, and I hit him with a hatchet a couple times, and he one-shots me with his little sword thing. Like, okay, I guess that's not how that works. And then I don't know. There's plenty of other I went into a cave, and there was some scary thing in there that was like one-shotting me. I guess I'm not supposed to be doing that now either. It'd be fun if there was some way to tell what I'm supposed to be doing now and what I'm not, that I don't just have to die to learn, like a roguelike. But fine, we'll see. There are some fun parts about it that maybe we can talk about in the future as well. Just how everything is sort of diegetic. You open your inventory and you basically you open a pack on the ground, and all of the things that are in your inventory are objects laying out on this pack that you folded out, sort of like opens up like a tarp on the ground. It's not like you open up a menu on screen. There is sort of like no user interface menu for your inventory that way, which is kind of cool. If you want to pick up the hatchet's now like laying there. If you want to pick up a stick, there's a little pile of sticks, and you sort of look around. It is an only hands game though, Sema, so that's a downside. So I did play a little bit of that, but I also played, and I want to hear what you've been doing as well. So we of course played Star Wars: The Old Republic quite a bit, but we were playing WoW. I played a little bit of WoW, and I heard you were playing a little bit of WoW this week as well. What did you do? What did you do in WoW? And then I'll tell you what I did in WoW.
So I did a little bit of almost everything in WoW this week because I played a little bit of yes, I got sucked into Burning Crusade. I don't know why I did this. Well, I do partially know why because when I was playing hardcore WoW, which is the game similar to what you were describing, but WoW version, whereas you die, you're just done, right?
Yeah.
Playing hardcore though, at that point you have a choice that you can take that character and transfer it over to a different non-hardcore server. So I have this server that has like 4 or 5 mages in various various levels that are like dead versions of the mage I was playing in hardcore. So, and that server happens to be Dream Skies, which is where our guild is also playing Burning Crusade right now. So, so I've been kind of like messing around in there because I have all these mages there. So I've been doing that. And then Stas from the chat room was playing some retail, and I hopped in to play with him, and Corley joined us too. So on Saturday night we played a couple just had some leveling fun times in retail WoW.
Yeah, low level. And
yeah.
You said low level is now having you level up in Dragonflight, right?
Yeah, Dragonflight is the default leveling zone.
Can you
now.
pick a different one if you want to? If this is your first character, do you have to do it in Dragonflight?
Oh, if it's your first character of all time, like you've never played WoW before, it funnels you into Dragonflight, and I don't know whether or not you actually have a choice.
Yeah, okay.
The setup is pretty layered and confusing. Like it took us a while to get all 3 of our characters into some kind of state where we could like all see each other and all be playing in the same and seeing it each other's. But when we got it working, it was really good, and we could we were Alliance and Horde in our group. We were wildly different levels, so it did work once we got it. But yeah, I think if you're brand new, they funnel you into Dragonflight.
You made the point that what they try to do is keep you in relatively recent expansions because they feel like their new player experience in those expansions is more modernized and better for new players.
Right. And also, if you're brand new to the game, they want to present their modern version of the game rather than have you go and start, in Elwyn Forest where, all the quests are kill 10 of this, kill 12 of that, collect 10 of these, collect that. And instead of their more modern quests that tell a story and have you do, quote unquote, fun things. And
back in my day, every new character started in your starting town, and you had to go kill kobolds, and that's I kind of think that that's what Stash should have to do.
Well, I mean, yes, and he did do that. He did play some of that too, but then we went. But he wasn't getting very much XP because he was out of the flow somehow. I don't completely understand it because it's been a while since I just started from nothing in WoW, in retail WoW. I don't even know if you can do it now. But that's not all.
That's not all.
I also played some of the because right now there's an event going on called Love is in the Air, which is Blizzard's idea of a Valentine's Day event. And I played some of that because there were 2 mounts from that event that I didn't have yet.
2?
And yes, because there are drops from that boss. There's a boss fight you can do daily.
Yeah.
And so
I knew there was the rocket, right?
There's a rocket. Now there's 2 others. So through the years, they've added a new mount to that fight. And I just never got the second one and the third one. So this year I got the second one and the third one because they added some pretty hefty bad luck protection.
Oh, okay.
They've streamlined it quite a bit, and they added bad luck protection. So I got both of those mounts. Plus I got enough currency to buy all the transmog that I wanted.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there's like 3 mounts now. I thought it was just that rocket, which I don't think I even have that.
Yeah, I got the rocket last year, and then the new one is a butterfly. So
Oh,
and it's very like gossamery and wings and
oh, that's
uh,
nice.
yeah, and then the other one that I didn't have is a broom style. Not the old style broom, it's like a modern broom. It kind of looks like a hot rod broom, but
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, okay. I did see that somewhere.
Yeah.
Um,
So I've been playing all the varieties of almost all the varieties of WoW this week in
yeah.
bits and pieces. Yeah.
One question on the Love is in the Air, because I have been playing a little bit and I did get some new gear. Oh, here's the butterfly mount. I just saw Hazelnutty has a video up. Spring butterfly. Wow, that's pretty cool. The body's kind of chunky. I wouldn't think the body would. It looks not very aerodynamic, but the wings look very nice. Uh, do they still have? And I know they had this like for Brewfest, is where I would get some like trinkets and stuff. Is there like gear for some of your?
Yeah. The boss fight also has drops. I believe it's a ring
I would like a
because
ring. I would like a ring, a diamond ring on my wedding finger.
or maybe yeah, I actually yeah, I should know that, but
Is it rings? That maybe Hazel's
it's in,
video shows it here as well.
and I don't think it's in. See, the box is where you get the chance of the mount, and it's also gives you some little consumable things. But the loot drops from the boss. I mean, if there's gear, it drops from the boss.
Got
But
it.
yeah,
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of WoW over the weekend. I did the pre-patch event. So I was getting some gear pieces, being able to fill in a couple of the pieces that I didn't get. Although if it's rings, I think I did get one of two rings even from the pre-patch event. So I don't know that I necessarily need to go grind the Love is in the Air event to get more. I don't need any actually, but all of the upgrades that I was getting were pretty big, huge upgrades for what I played out of the pre-patch stuff. I did all of the pre-patch event. So I did in one stretch, and it was not even very long because I did join an open world group finder group. I did all 19 rares and got the meta achievement for the entire pre-patch event, which then gave me the title along the way, and it gave me the is it a mount? It was some mech suit.
yeah,
That's a
yes,
mount, right?
yeah, yeah. So it's a
Um,
necklace. The necklace is the gear that drops from that boss fight.
oh, from the Love is in the Air one? I wonder if I
Yeah.
got a necklace or did not get a necklace. Maybe didn't need it. Interesting. Anyway, fine. It was fine. It was everything I expected. And very similar to every other pre-patch event that I've seen from recent expansions in the past decade. In a fine way. I don't expect a lot from them. I'm not asking for a full expansion as a pre-patch event. So it worked just fine for me. I did not do any of the world quests, which you can also do along the way. I did enough I realized it was a weekly. It was 2 weeklies, but you do get like 80 of the little currency tokens from doing those. And
Yep.
that was enough to buy all 3 of the pets from the vendor and the transmog for all the weapons, which is mostly what I cared about. There's a mount on there. I didn't really like the mount all that much, so didn't mind missing out on it. But I did jump in again on Monday night and realized that those 2 quests, which I thought were dailies, were not their weeklies. So I guess I could
Yeah.
jump in this week still and next week and do those and get a nice little chunk, because grinding the bosses, the rares to get the tokens is really slow because you only get like 2 or 3 per boss and it's 5 minutes between each.
Right. And a piece of gear. Like I would do the same thing you did, which is I would buy pets, toys, mounts before actual gear because gear has
Yeah.
so many other sources.
Right.
But the gear, they it started out at 40 tokens, and now it's 20. So
Oh,
yeah, doing those 2 weeklies will give you a bunch of gear upgrades.
I got like 3 or 4 gear pieces for my hunter that I was playing on, and then 3 or 4 more gear pieces, or maybe even more. It was like five or 6 that were like cloth and plate and leather, not for my hunter, but I could
Right.
send them another character, I guess. But I did end up getting like a bow. So I got like a huge upgrade for my weapon, and then filled in a couple other slots, and that felt really good. And that was enough. So I mean, it's still only like, four slots,
Yeah.
5 slots out of 15 or whatever. But I almost don't mind. I kind of like don't mind stopping there, because that means on day 1 of the new expansion, when I go and start doing the story and leveling and get some crappy green drop, it'll still probably be an upgrade for me. I'll get a couple upgrades that first day. Whereas if you've got like high end raid gear, or you've got upgraded everything now, you're gonna last for almost until the new level cap with a lot of that gear, and that doesn't
Especially
feel
with
as
the
fun.
raiding. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Like my character that's in raid gear, I'm sure it will last. I'm sure that there'll be pieces I'm still haven't replaced yet at max level,
Yeah,
because that's just how it goes.
and I've done that in
But
previous expansions too, and it felt a little less fun than I wanted.
anticlimactic, yeah.
There was one achievement that I did not do. I started it and I rage quit it. Did you do the I forgot what it's called. The secret, it's the tic-tac-toe thing. Did you
So
do the tic-tac-toe thing?
I did, and the reason I did is because someone in Discord said that they were doing it, and that was all it took. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do it.
50 times?
Yeah,
You got to
50
play
times.
stupid tic-tac-toe against the computer 50 times.
And I would not even do that in real life.
And you don't get anything for it. You just get the
Don't get
achievement checked off the
anything for it.
achievement list.
That's right. I mean, that is the definition of me right there. In fact, when I said I played some BC, what I was doing was I decided to run from Moonglade to Everlook, which is not going to mean anything to most people listening, but I was way under leveled to do that, so I kept getting killed, and then that sends you back to your resurrection spawn point, and then you have to run back to where your body is, and then you go like another few steps, then you get killed, and then you go back to the body, and you get another few steps. But it's like once I started it, I'm like, no, I'm finishing this.
That's I've run
So
like
it took me like 45 minutes to get from Moonglade to Everlook, but I got there.
I've done that before too. That can be kind of fun. I did like the early run at like level 10 all the way through Stranglethorn, so I could go do the druid quest and that kind of thing.
Different. That's different. This was the spawn point was like way into Fellwood.
Yeah, that
And
sucks.
it was way far away from the road, so you couldn't go straight to the road because there were mountains in the way, so you had to go away from your body, way out of the way to get over to the road so that you could even get back to the tunnel, and then you had to go all the way through the tunnel to the first part of the tunnel where you die. It was extreme.
Yeah, that sounds pretty crazy.
And I feel like a regular person with a regular functioning brain would have said, "Oh, this is a bad idea," early on, and said, "It stopped doing it." I just leaned into it. I went, "Nope."
I did tic-tac-toe 9 times before out of 50 before I rage quit. It was like, forget it.
But I mean, each game was like, I don't know, 10 seconds.
Yes. Even so.
But once I started, I was not going to not finish that tic-tac-toe thing.
The thing that cracked me up the most about that tic-tac-toe game was I looked on Wowhead to like see what you would win for doing it. And Wowhead was like filled with like people explaining how tic-tac-toe works. I'm like, what? Like, for people that don't realize, here's how you play tic-tac-toe. I'm like, what?
That's awesome.
Why, guys? It's freaking tic-tac-toe.
It's not it's not secret tic-tac-toe. It's just regular tic-tac-toe.
If you play in the corners, it gives you an edge, and you can likely win most of the time.
And you get a toy. I mean, not for the achievement, but you get a tic-tac. Now I can play, and so can you. You probably got the toy too. You can play tic-tac-toe whenever you want to, which should be
No,
never.
I didn't. You have to go and seek out that book thing elsewhere to get the toy. I did not. I should go
Oh.
pick that up. You got to like go pick it up from an enemy camp. There's one sitting at the
Oh.
quest area. If you didn't go and get your own, there's one sitting at the quest area that you can go click on and play it.
Yeah,
without
I'm pretty
getting your own.
sure somewhere along the way I got a toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of all I wanted, but then I like started playing it and I rage quit.
I think maybe you wise quit.
Yes, I cheer joined. That's our opposite of I cheer joined something else. Yeah, who was it? Who was it who made a character named Cheerjoin in our guild on Star Wars?
I think that was
Because we used to play that.
Galahad.
Yeah, it was Galahad. Because we used to say that all the time on the
Or
podcast.
was it Apollos?
No, I think that was Galahad.
Yeah, okay.
So I went and cheer joined No Man's Sky. Should we talk a little bit about No Man's Sky? Because that's
Yeah,
mostly what that's where I
yeah.
played that. So let me hear. I'll
Yeah.
even play a new little drop in.
I want to hear about you being a garbage man.
All right.
Game changer.
Game changer. Game changer.
Game changer for
Game changer for the industry.
The game
industry of
has
garbage collecting.
changed. Yes. It is garbage. It was the garbage collection update. And you get to take one of your old vehicles and turn it into a garbage truck and go drive around to garbage sites on a planet and pick up garbage and recycle it. And that's it. That's the expansion. It is so the way they do these things is a couple things. It's an update which adds new features, and then it's an expedition. And this time the expedition came out at the same time as the update. Sometimes there's a little bit of like a week lag between when they do the feature implementation and when they do the expedition, which is sort of like a series of objectives which leads you through playing the new stuff that they put in. So they added a few things. It's not a big one. This is just a smaller one. So people need to have that kind of expectation. This isn't like the Corvettes update, which was huge, a big feature with like a lot of deep gameplay associated with it. This was smaller. It took one of the old vehicles, which is called the Colossus, and it outfitted it to be able to carry items, in-world items. You're picking them up off the ground and setting them physically in the back of the flatbed in the one configuration of the vehicle. And then they gave you what's basically a gravity gun from Half-Life. Kind of like a Half-Life gravity gun. You equip it in your multi-tool as an attachment in the multi-tool. That's kind of like the way things work. You only have your ship, your multi-tool, and your suit. So everything they give you that's like another tool or something, there's no extra like tool slots. Everything either becomes like an attachment in your suit and you just slot it in your suit equipment slots, or an attachment in your multi-tool, and because your multi-tool is also your weapon. It's also your mining tool. It's also now your gravity gun. It's also fish. I think the fishing rod for some reason goes in your suit and not in the multi-tool. Anyway, so you've got that. You've got the gravity gun gauntlet. And those two things then work together. The gravity gun gauntlet is what you use to pick up the garbage things off the ground, and you put them then with the gravity gun into the back of the vehicle and you drive it around. The other thing they're doing with this that they're showcasing is work that they've done on the physics of how stuff can be handled in the game, physically handled. Like now you can pick these things up with the gravity gun, and you right click to pick something up and grab it from pretty far away. You can grab things, and you left click to sort of eject it or throw it. So you can have some fun with that. And they showed even like a little bit of opportunities, I think, for people to even make little games. There's these big spheres on some of the monuments, and you can now pick those up. And now we've got a sphere that we can pick up and throw I can imagine making a game out of that. So like a gravity gun version of football or soccer or whatever you want. But the other part of the physics is as you load all of these things up into the back of the flatbed of the vehicle, you now have physics with all of those physically in the back of the vehicle settling into each other and bouncing around and moving around. And when you drive the vehicle, if you hit too big a bump, they do bounce a bit and they can bounce out, especially if you fill it up like up to the top. The expedition basically was having you go to a series of different sites around this planet, driving the vehicle, picking up the recyclable elements, the garbage elements, driving them back to a processing center and taking them out of the flatbed and throwing them into the processing unit. And that's it. And in fact, that's all it was, to such a degree that you weren't allowed to use a ship in this, you weren't allowed to fly at all in this expedition. You're landlocked to the planet. You can only drive this vehicle. You can't build a base. No extra storage, no Corvette, no getting off the planet to go to the space station to buy some extra supplies. None of that. All you're doing is driving around your garbage truck and picking up garbage for, 2 hours, 3 hours worth of objectives. So not super long, but long enough that you do get the feel that all you're doing is picking up garbage for 3 hours. Still, that's fine.
But then why are you doing it? I mean, are there grateful villagers or something that say, thank you for getting rid of our garbage, we didn't know what to do with it? Or do you make No Man's Sky credits
You
for it?
you do get credits for it. You get the more rare kind of credit, which is called a nanite. So there's three kinds of currency. There's the very common currency, which is sort of like the units, that's just like the dollars. Nanites are the more rare kind of currency for the higher, like the more technical upgrades. And then there's almost what would be a cash shop currency for any other game. But there is no cash shop. There is a special vendor on the sort of like the special fleet location that has some of the basically like Twitch drops you could buy with the Quicksilver. You earn some of the Quicksilver currency by completing the expedition, but the main thing that you would get if you were to play this garbage collecting game outside of the expedition, you might do it to be earning nanites. It's not the most efficient way to earn nanites, so I don't think really this is going to become a core part of the gameplay loop for most people. So it does make me wonder why they did it, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But it was interesting it's not my favorite expedition. I prefer expeditions that have a little bit more flexibility to go complete the objectives how you would like. One of the things I like to do in a lot of expeditions, when it's not even part of the expedition and I'm actually wasting time doing it, is to go get a fancier ship to fly around in. Because they always give you a ship, like almost every expedition except this one. They give you a ship, you got to fix it up, and it's like a little C-class fighter thing, and you fly around with that. That's all you need to complete most of the expeditions, but I like to then go get a fancier one. Or nowadays, I love to go and get a Corvette and construct a Corvette. And that's hard to do when you're starting from scratch. And all the expeditions start from scratch. You start from zero. You have no units. You have no nanites. You have no credits. And you need millions of credits to unlock a Corvette. But that's a little side task that I like. And then flying a Corvette around is really cool because now you have extra storage and you have the refining devices and all of that kind of thing. This, you were completely landlocked. And you can't even fly to scout out the locations anywhere. And distance, the way distance works in No Man's Sky is when you start to fly, you're flying at multiple orders of magnitude faster than there's walking, there's driving, and then 2 orders of magnitude faster is flying, especially when you get up into the outer atmosphere. And then once you get out of the atmosphere, then you're like 4 orders of magnitude faster as you start like bouncing between planets and that kind of thing. So what you usually do is if you want to get to the other side of the planet, you just go and fly up out of the atmosphere, and you could like fly to the other side of the planet in 2 minutes. Here, if you wanted to drive this vehicle to the other side of the planet, and thankfully we didn't have to do that, it would literally take you 20 hours, something like that, to drive around the planet because of the scale of the way this game works, which is cool in and of itself. But it did make it such that of these locations where you had to go and pick up garbage, there were 5 locations. So each of the 5 stages of the things that you're checking off the list, some of them were 10 to 12 minutes away, one-way trip in this vehicle, driving full speed. And then once you load up, as I said, if you hit a bump and stuff starts flying out of your vehicle, out of your dump truck, you got to then like stop and pick it up because you need these things. You have to have so many of them to turn in when you bring them back. So now you have to drive really slow coming back. It could be like a half-hour round trip just driving this stupid dump truck between these locations. It really gave you a better sense of the scale of what these planets are like. So that was interesting, but I would have preferred a ship. And I tried to like mess around and find some shortcuts. Like you build basically it's sort of like a summoning station to make the vehicle appear, make the Colossus vehicle, the dump truck appear. If you lose your dump truck somewhere or you forget where it is, you could go to that summoning station, press the button, and it teleports to the summoning station. Well, I did try right away. I tried to like fill it up with stuff and then like teleport it. And that didn't work. Because I almost felt like it would be faster for me to just run back to the processing center myself on foot than to try to like carefully drive this thing. Because stuff's like bouncing around. I think by the second week of the expedition, they actually patched in a little bit of help to have things not fall out of the back of the vehicle as much as they were the first week. So there was some of that. But yeah, so again, just not a very big thing. The other reason, go ahead.
I was just going to say my normal comment that not everything has to be the biggest ever.
Exactly. And I don't mind them doing small updates from time to time. And every new expedition doesn't have to be my new favorite expedition. So I didn't mind it. I thought it was fine. It wasn't one that I did multiple times like I've done some of the other ones. But I didn't mind it. Will I use much of the vehicle and its customizations in the future? Probably not. Will I use the gravity gun in the future? Maybe, depending on if they put other things into the game where that becomes a useful tool. Because it seems like such a cool tool to have it only around to pick up garbage and do nothing else seems like a miss. I wonder if they've got extra plans for the gravity gun. But then the other reason you do it is because as you complete the expedition, you are getting rewards that you get to then use in all of your other saves. So starting a new game from scratch, or if you have an old one that you've like completed most of everything, there's a really cool armor customization set. So that was part of it. So cool. I get to, and I like this one. Some of them are only so. This one actually looks pretty cool. I kind of like it. I'm probably gonna put it on one of my characters, try it out. They added in a couple small things along the way too. They added in the ability to create outfits, like a cosmetic system. Basically name an outfit, set the outfit. There's no like hotkey, but in the same way the new transmog works in World of Warcraft or the outfits work in Star Wars: The Old Republic, they added it in here because that's what Hello Games does. They find a good feature elsewhere in some other game and say, yeah, all right, we'll do it. And then they take a weekend and they do it.
Right.
Where Blizzard has been working on the new transmog system for 6 months or whatever. it's like a little bit simplified systems in No Man's Sky, but they are magical there as well. So there's that. There's one of the types of garbage. They're basically these hazardous waste canisters. One of them is called volatile waste, and it explodes like a grenade, kind of. It's like it's like a 50-gallon drum style barrel compared to your character. But you could like throw them and they explode, and you could shoot them and they explode. That's an interesting little side thing that could be used elsewhere. Just their use of physics to make all of the objects in the flatbed bounce around is new tech, new development. And then they even added in little side weird things like the clouds are updated. So they threw this in, which gets to, and Forster just brought it up in the chat room, which was the next thing on our list to go and try to talk about, is how might this stuff end up getting used in Light No Fire? And that was my key question. How are they going to use this stuff in Light No Fire? We still haven't heard a lot about Light No Fire. Sema, what did you predict was it pre-show, or did I ask you earlier in the show? When are we going to hear next about what? Why have we not heard about Light No Fire? Where is Light No Fire? I want Light No Fire right now, please. Anyway.
December. We'll hear something in December.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a while. I think it's going to be 2027 before we're getting much of Light No Fire, if not longer, unfortunately. Anyway, anytime they're doing any of these updates, one of the things that they've said explicitly in the past has been, this is technology that we're building for Light No Fire. We thought would be really cool to have in No Man's Sky. That's excellent. That sounds really good. They've pointed to that. And Sean Murray has brought some of those things up in interviews in the past. So when I saw this, I looked at it and said, is this something that they've just done for No Man's Sky? Which maybe it is. Or is this tech from Light No Fire that they're backporting to No Man's Sky like they've done the other things that they've done in the game, like the water tech that they've introduced to the game? The clouds, I could definitely see being a Light No Fire thing, because they wanted prettier clouds for their new planet, in their new Earth-sized planet in Light No Fire. So fine, that's one. The rest of this, I was a little more confused on how it might be used. Not that it can't, but it doesn't seem like, from what we've seen, and we've only seen glimpses and sneak previews so far in the trailers, at this point, but driving around a truck and loading stuff into the back of the truck with a gravity gun doesn't seem to fit with anything we've seen in Light No Fire. But it does make me think, how might it be used? What did you think so far on that, Sema?
Well, I was thinking of like a tinkerer's wagon or something, and magical ways of picking up things and throwing them, and going about the world, or like a mastodon.
Yeah, you're like riding around on those. Again, it's just these little glimpses that we're seeing in this trailer. We're extrapolating from that, which we probably shouldn't be, but you're building. It's a building crafting game from what they've sort of showed so far. They show you like building houses. They show someone like carrying a log on their shoulder and like walking around with it. They show you with these big packs on your back. So maybe transport of stuff is a key part of the game. Maybe this is part of that, as you say. Yeah, maybe like you could drive little wagons around, or they showed boats on the water at some point in the trailer. Maybe you can load up the ships with stuff, and they provide some magical way, a magic version, a fantasy version of a gravity gun to be able to move the cargo and tractor it around and load it up on a boat, or load it up on the back of a big dinosaur that you're driving around to be moving goods from place to place. Yeah, maybe that's where this is coming from.
Maybe it's such deep infrastructure too that it's doesn't even have to be that one for one. Like, instead of a magical force, instead of a gravity gun, there'll be, minions.
Yes. And to that point, just the technology, they didn't add it to their engine. They basically unlocked and started using more of the physics capabilities, the physics simulation capabilities of the engine to get all the trash in the back of the flatbed to like pile up and move around and jiggle and settle. And when it's here, you can see in this picture, it's sort of like all rolling down a hill, and it's all of that physics. They've had a little bits of it in the game, but never to this extent. They could have been exercising that or implementing just the physics engine in a big way for Light No Fire and said, hey, now that we've got this kind of like worked out, we could have like a big pile of these things sort of like piled up. What if we piled some junk up in the back of a Colossus and let people drive around with stuff in the back? So it may be a byproduct of even just some core engine tech that they've been playing with as a result. I don't know. Outfit system, that seems like something that could be part of Light No Fire. Clouds,
for sure. Yeah.
exploding barrels, that seems like something that could potentially be part of Light No Fire. Driving around a garbage truck, that doesn't, that doesn't seem like it. I don't know where that came from, but cool stuff. Regardless, I want Light No Fire. Where is it? Where is my Light No Fire? I would like a Light No Fire, please. One Light No Fire, please, Sean. Where's my pre-order link? Take my money. Let me. Can I? Is there like a test, a closed test I could get in on? That would be great. If somebody could give me a call on the telephone and let me know how I could make that happen. That would be really cool. That would make my day. All right. Regardless, fun stuff. I really like No Man's Sky as ever. And I should have said it because I knew it was coming. You always know, you can get that feeling if you've been following them on their journey for this long, that you sort of just get the sense of, hey, it's been about time. I know how this team kind of works. You know, we got this stuff. We got the replays in December. They probably were even a little bit working in December. They're probably working in January. I bet we're going to get something in the next week or two. It kind of feels like it. And we did. I had that feeling. I meant to even mention it on the show 2 weeks ago. And then last week we got the drop. So cool. So lots of fun things. No Crimson Desert tomorrow, Sema. I know you thought it was coming tomorrow, but it's not.
Yes, I did.
So you know. But maybe we'll play some Star Trek Voyager Across the Universe. Is that what it's called? No, it's called something across. This is something Star Wars, Star Trek. Maybe I'll play that this weekend. Or maybe I'll play a little bit more Sons of the Forest and see how many more times I can die and rage quit in that game.
Yeah. Maybe you'll, get the hang of it.
What about you, Sema? Are you going to be doing more hardcore? Are you going to be burning some crusades, or what are you going to be doing?
I don't know about hardcore because I logged into hardcore the other day, and the quest that I was down in Teneris, and the quest I was ready to do was one where you go and kill a bunch of pirates, and you have to kill the captain that's guarded by a bunch of pirates.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, you know what? That is not a good quest to try out while I'm rusty.
Right.
Because it's really it can be very dangerous. So I didn't have a plan. I logged back out again. So I would have to
back it up a bit.
Yeah, back it up. At least practice.
Go kill some kobolds and see where you're at.
Yeah, relearn all my I do try to keep my buttons pretty consistent from game to game to game, but there's still subtle differences. And if you hit something when you mean to hit something else, that could be the difference between getting hit by a fireball and not getting hit by a fireball.
Yeah, exactly. Got to get all your defensive cooldowns lined up, get all your CCs all lined up, and know where everything's at. Have an escape plan.
So running around in BC feels very luxurious because it's sort of like, oh, that might kill me, but oh well.
Yeah. Death is but a doorway.
Right, death, where is thy sting?
Have you
Nowhere.
died in Burning Crusade? Have you died to the big what's it called? The big thing, big robot thing stomping around?
Oh, no, because level 22.
Oh, you're not there yet?
No, I don't have any level 60 characters that can even go into that
Okay.
zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't unlocked the doorway yet. Boy, I remember
Right.
that back in the day. The Fell Reaver. Yeah. You hear
Yeah.
that thing coming.
And
And
there's a fantastic machinima that somebody made about the Fell Reaver. It just like encapsulates that feeling like the ground starts to shake and it's already too late to get away.
yes. Oh, that was fun. That was fun times.
It was,
And you
yeah.
would totally feel it too. And it'd come stomping over the horizon and you'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun things to play and we'll talk about more stuff next week. But I think that is it for today. For us, all the feed and subscribe links are on newoverlords.com and our videos up on YouTube/newoverlords. Please come chat with us in our Discord at newoverlords.com/Discord. You can also follow on all the social networks and we'll keep you up to date there too. And with that, we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.